What is the dark truth behind The Simpsons' predictions? Because The Simpsons doesn't predict the future, it creates it. There are conspiracies so complex that there are people who believe in Simpson and his predictions. Also, the matter has gotten out of control because they predicted things 15 years before they happened. From the predicted 2020 election of Donald Trump to Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show. So The Simpsons program predicts the future, it is a fact, not a question. But how can they predict it? Is Freemasonry the reason, or just smart writers, or both? The Simpsons have been around since day one, and they are remarkably relevant to the current zeitgeist. It has smart writers. This means that not can The Simpsons predict the future, but rather that our reality is predictably stupid. But my friend, the matter is not limited to that. There are more complicated matters. So bring your favorite drink to enjoy this video because it contains different information than other YouTubers who propose superficial plots. But before you start watching, my goal for this video is for 1 million people to watch it. Yes, I heard you saying to yourself that he cannot, but if you help me share it with whomever you know, I will be able to do so. And now I will let you enjoy this gratifying video. Tell me in the comments section what prediction shocked you the most while watching The Simpsons. As for me, this prediction that I will tell you about is what shocked me the most. But I am certain that there is no prediction among Simpsons predictions more shocking than this one. But perhaps you will shock me in the comments, because Simpson was created to shock us. For every prediction there is a logical explanation, but this prediction that I will tell you about does not have any logical explanation. But before that, some people say that The Simpsons predictions are a coincidence. But is that reality? Many programs predict the future, and one of the programs that they compared to The Simpsons is Star Trek, which had a similar number of episodes to The Simpsons. But is there nothing special about Simpsons predictions for the future, because other programs have also done so? Star Trek predictions include the smartphone, as well as the smartwatch and flat-screen TV. But all of these expectations do not deserve attention because they are superficial and no one talks about them except fools. But if you think that this video will be superficial conspiracies like the ridiculous conspiracies on YouTube, then you are wrong, dear. But let me now tell you about the biggest prediction that Simpson made throughout his history in his series of predictions. The expectation has no justification, and this expectation is so strong that they wrote a whole book about it. I am not exaggerating that. In 1998, in one of the Simpsons episodes, Homer Simpson wrote an equation on the board. But what is this equation? Why did it change our view of predictions? Before I answer these questions, I will talk about 2012 so that we know the details.
Scientists believe they are getting closer to proving the existence of the Higgs boson, the hypothetical subatomic particle thought to supply mass to the matter that makes up our universe. An experiment is to resume Wednesday at the Large Hadron Collider near Geneva, designed to catch a glimpse of the so-called God particle.
So in 2012 in Switzerland, scientists discovered the existence of the Higgs boson, which is an atomic particle even less than atomic. And they called this particle the particle God. They gave it this name because without the Higgs boson, gravity and planet Earth would not exist. But they were fools who did not ask themselves who created this particle. And of course, it is God. The important thing is that they discovered the existence of the Higgs boson in 2012, and also in the same year they discovered its weight, which means that the equation that Homer Simpson wrote on the blackboard was 14 years before their discovery of the Higgs boson. And also the number that Homer wrote is equivalent to the number discovered in the year 2012.
Fundamentally changes our understanding of the universe.
There's nothing else like the Higgs information. This is a completely new kind of...
Scientists believe that without the Higgs, there would be no gravity and no universe.
Understanding the origins of mass.
The difference between them was this number, which means they knew the equation of the atom 15 years before it happened.
How are they doing this?
This does not make sense because all previous expectations are reasonable and predictable, but this equation is never a coincidence. So much so that they wrote a whole book about it. This book is called The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets. Focus with me on this video to understand all of Simpsons' predictions and where they came from. What did The Simpsons show predict? Why was it famous for its predictions? And how did YouTubers start talking about Simpsons predictions at the beginning of every year?
You've probably heard the conspiracy theory that The Simpsons can predict everything about the future.
Who are the world's greatest
Accurate predictions.
predicted the future?
You will find many conspiracies on YouTube, and most of them are dork. What are Simpsons predictions? I will furnish you with the biggest expectations that Simpson expected, and the expectations of the Simpson program include all areas of life: politics, wars, technology, sports, and such. In 2018, BuzzFeed magazine conducted statistics to determine the number of predictions made by Simpson, and they said that there were 30 correct predictions. But I will tell you about the predictions that we are concerned about, some of which are correct, and some of which are not correct. Now let's go back to the year 2000, when the Simpsons program predicted that Donald Trump would become President of America, to the point that Simpsons predicted his speech. At that moment, there were many conspiracies, but all of these anticipations were not true, because those episodes were not released in the year 2000. In reality, Trump ran for president in June 2015, and at this time, Trump actually gave his speech. But in the month 7 of 2015, this episode was broadcast, which is named Trump-tastic Voyage. Even this episode was not broadcast on television because it was a special episode that was broadcast only on Facebook and YouTube. In the episode, they were mocking Trump meeting and his candidacy for the presidency, but the new factor is that conspiracy theorists have begun to distort reality in order to align with the conspiracies they are talking about, which is that Simpson predicts the future. But what is the real expectation? In the year 2000, in an episode called Bart to the Future, Lisa, the little girl, became President of America and was complaining about the economic situation a lot because Trump caused that. In the episode, the show predicted that Lisa would become an American president after Trump, which means that Trump would become the President of America. In reality, in 2016, Trump became the President of America. But is this really a prediction of the future? Absolutely not. Because The Simpsons is a program that burlesque American reality. In 1988, Trump had the intention of running for the presidency. And also in 1999, Trump showed his interest in the presidency, which reflects that The Simpson program mocks the American reality because, in reality, Trump wanted to win the presidency. On The Simpson program, they mocked Trump, saying that he would fail in the presidency, and that was the subject of the episode. They were mocking Trump, so they did not predict the future. But also, my dear friend, the conspiracy does not stop here, because they are also still claiming that Simpson predicted the future, and that Trump will become American president in the year 2024. In this vantage point from the episode, Homer is flying in the air, and a sign with Trump written on it appears. From 2012 until 2028, there were many people who, after seeing this footage, became convinced that Trump would become president. Currently, I think he will probably be the president in reality. But my bro, do you see from another perspective, as I do, that the issue is random? Because that is not evidence. Yes, Simpson predicted that he would be president in 2024, but they also expected that he would become president in 2012 and 2020. However, he was not president in those 2 years, which reflects that Simpson's prediction about Trump was all random. Two factors influenced the belief of Simpson's predictions. But dear watch, you may be one of the people who believe conspiracy theories because there are factors that make you believe it, and I do not hold you responsible for believing conspiracies. The first factor is that there are people who want to believe that there is a conspiracy because it is human nature to want to believe that there is something happening behind them. And the second factor is the YouTubers who talk about Simpsons conspiracies and distort reality. There is also a third factor that you will realize at the end of this video. However, some predictions have no explanation, such as the prediction of the Ebola virus. In the year 1997, this episode appeared in Simpson, and Bart was sick, and Marjorie read him a story, and the storybook had the Ebola virus written on it. And in the year 2014, an epidemic occurred in the world, and its name is also Ebola. Another correct prediction was made by Simpson in the year 2014 from episode 16 of the 25th season. There was a sarcastic episode about the World Cup, and in the episode, they predicted that Germany would defeat Brazil in the final. And in fact, Germany won over Brazil in the final. The question we all ask is, how was Simpson able to predict all of this? Is there a logical explanation? Because after those predictions, there was great doubt on the part of some people, because the percentage of probability in predictions, such as the Ebola prediction, is not a coincidence at all. I told you about many predictions, some of which have a logical explanation, and some predictions have no explanation, but I have only told you a small part of Simpson's predictions. And like the Ebola prediction, there is no explanation. So the question is, does Matt Groening have ties to those who control the world? But before you believe in Simpson's conspiracies like everyone else, I will tell you about the explanation of this man named Matt Zaremsky. Matt Zaremsky is a guy like you and me who asked himself the question that made me make this video, and that made you watch it too. How does Simpson predict the future? Matt's specialty is mathematics, and the equation that Homer wrote on the board has left him confused. So he decided to examine this topic, and his examen was truly amazing. Also, the examen he conducted may answer the question of this video. He said there are 29 seasons, and out of 29 seasons, there are 120,000 jokes. The joke does not have to be made through words. Such an expectation.
29 seasons, 120,000 jokes, 8.54 jokes per minute.
So there are 120,000 jokes, and the rate that Matt calculated is 8.54 jokes per minute. And of course, it is calculated on 12 seasons because it does not make sense to calculate it on 29 seasons.
It only comes out to about a 1.6% success rate.
Key point is that according to Matt's calculation, there are 20 correct predictions. And by correct prediction, I mean such as predicting the World Cup winner or FIFA corruption. Such predictions that have no logical explanation. Key point is that the prediction success rate is 1.6%, and this rate is not high. It is possible that I can now make 100 predictions for you for the year 2025, and my prediction success rate is 1.6%. Am I successful with the predictions? Nah, so in this calculation that Matt calculated about Simpson predictions are luck, and nothing more than that. Because they make many predictions also because of their many episodes, it is logical that after 15 years there will be a correct prediction. But dear friend, this is not the final answer, because the prediction of Homer's equation cannot be luck, as Matt said about Simpson's predictions. Because Homer's equation is very accurate, and the luck factor has absolutely nothing to do with it. Because it is an equation for the weight of an atom molecule, its presence or absence controls gravity on Earth. So how did Simpson predict it 15 years ago? Because, as I said, this prediction is not a coincidence at all. Also, Simpson did not expect 20 correct predictions, as Matt said. I think in the current year, he expected 40 correct predictions. So Matt is not correct because Simpson is a big world. So another question. If Simpson's predictions were not a coincidence, how could Simpson predict? Yes, Matt's idea about Simpson's predictions is not wrong. But it is also not the complete truth. It is not the basis of Simpson's predictions. There is something bigger is happening, so we still have to know how Simpson predicted the equation of the atom. So, in order for us to know the full truth, let me tell you about this YouTuber who did a complete research on his own about the Simpson topic. You will really like his research. I get tired of making videos. I give everything I have in the video because I love making videos. So I want to ask you a request, which is that we try to make this video reach 1 million views. So if you press like for the video, it will help me a lot. Chuppl was not satisfied with the idea that every prediction could be explained by chance. He said, while some predictions may be chance, others, such as the prediction of the equation of the atom, are never based on chance. To prove his point, Chuppl agreed with his girlfriend to watch all the episodes of The Simpsons and collect statistics while watching. To understand whether a statistic can really answer the question of how to predict the equation of an atom, I need to explain the statistic itself. The proper number of predictions until 2022 was 43, of which 13 resulted from correct by dint of luck, while the remaining 30 predictions had no explanation. It is important to note that these 13 luck-based predictions, such as a smartwatch prediction, cannot be compared to an atom equation prediction. So Chuppl decided to consult a statistician to verify the accuracy of Simpson predictions. The statistician compared Simpson predictions to other shows, such as Star Trek and South Park, and found that their predictions were not as strong as those of The Simpson. However, the statistician admitted that there was something mysterious about Simpson predictions. Consider that during an interview, the writers of The Simpsons discussed why their predictions worked.
Our distinguished panel members with us. They are award-winning writers and producers of The Simpsons. Our panelists also hold an impressive array of degrees in mathematics, computer science, and philosophy, among others.
The thing is, you could assemble a panel of other kinds of nerds from The Simpsons as well. Like there are millions of jokes about the presidents of the United States. For example, I'm looking at Patrick Verone, who's a presidential scholar. But really, there's a lot of people with different interests, and they're all trying to cram all.
One of them stated that their writing experience played a crucial role in their ability to make accurate predictions. The other writer attributed their success to the fact that they produced many episodes, which gave them a greater opportunity to make correct predictions. However, none of them mentioned anything about their wrong predictions during the interview. According to their list of predictions, there were more wrong predictions than correct predictions. This raises the question of whether their predictions were based on luck or something else. Although the authors credit luck as playing a role in their predictions, but what is Simpson's secret? And what is the answer? Put Chuppl research aside and let me tell you about the 30 predictions that have no logical explanation. The 30 predictions, I think there is a real conspiracy, but don't think that when I say conspiracy, I mean like other YouTubers when they talk about ridiculous conspiracies, like Donald Trump conspiracy and so on. I mean there's something more mysterious than that. Do you remember the book I told you about at the beginning of the video, which is Simpson Mathematics book? Let me tell you more about this book. The most complicated thing about Simpson's predictions is Homer equation. But the question that we have not answered since the beginning of the video is, how are they able to predict in this equation? Simon Singh is the author of The Simpsons and their mathematics. Contact the author of Homer Equation Ring, David Cohen. David Cohen is an American television writer. He also graduated from Harvard University with a bachelor's degree in physics and from the University of California with a master's degree in computer science. He also wrote research papers in mathematics. Main point, my friend, while Simon Singh contacted the episode's author, he asked him, "How did you write the atom's equation?" David, the author of the episode, told him that he contacted a friend of his, and his friend is a Persephorus at Yale University, which is one of the best universities in the world. Persephorus, David Shimanovich, is a Persephorus of physics and mathematics. The important thing is that the writer of the episode told Persephorus to help him write an equation whose result would be correct. But there are 30 unexplained predictions, not just the atom equation. While we have demonstrated how Simpson came up with his prediction for the equation of an atom, there are still 30 other predictions that we haven't been able to explain. So, in order to know how he predicted other predictions, we have to know who the writer of The Simpsons is. And The Simpsons doesn't have just one writer. There are many writers, approximately 141 writers, all of whom are educated, some of whom participated in 1 episode and 2 episodes. And also some of them are long-term writers. But the difference between The Simpsons and the rest of the programs is that The Simpsons writers include educated people, whether political science, technology, or sports analysts, and so on. The idea is that Simpson writers are people who are very educated in their field and also have connections with people who are also educated. So when David Cohen wrote the equation of the atom, he asked a friend, and his friend is a great professor, for help. So they were able to make predictions about the atom equation, but there is another factor in addition to this, and I lied to you about it at the beginning of the video. Remember the numbers of the equation that consist of zeros and grams at the end? Grams makes a big difference in the atom equation. The numbers of the atom equation in the ring are different in zeros, so the newly discovered equation is different from the Simpson equation. It all makes sense now, but we still haven't answered the question. Why does Simpson want to predict the future? The short answer is that there are two factors, luck and professional writers, each who knows something different in areas of life. Therefore, when there is a book with a high level, the percentage of luck increases. Therefore, the probability of the book's predictions being successful is greater than that of ordinary people, which means no conspiracies or people are controlling the world. In the end, I hope you will help me to make this video reach 1 million views by sharing the video with your friends and pressing the like and peace out.